Hey everyone, Mark Hespman here. On the Mark, prep for On the Mark is underway. Episode 189 tomorrow morning on News Talk 1070 KHMO. We'll be on the air 9:05 sharp as always. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Mark Hespman. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook to follow along. Starting to look ahead to tomorrow's show. Really excited about it. Obviously, we're going to spend a lot of time at the start of the show on Game 4 of the NBA Finals. This is really huge. I mean, this is to me, like I said, very similar to Game 2. If Miami wins this game, we could go 7. I mean, this could be an opportunity for it to become a real competitive, tough series. If Denver takes care of business, I think this thing's over in 5. I like Denver tonight. I like Denver in 5, like I said from the beginning. That's what I'm rolling with. But Miami, all it takes is one role player. The Duncan Robinsons, the Struces, the Vincents, one of them to get really hot, to go off, and keep them alive. And will Tyler Hero eventually ever show up in this series? That's something we'll keep an eye out for tonight during the game. So obviously we'll start the show with that, episode 189. A little Chris Paul talk maybe too, if I can squeeze it in there. I think Chris Paul being a free agent is fascinating. It's fascinating for Chris. There's a couple really interesting fits, so we'll have some time to talk about that. Then, obviously, we'll spend a lot of time. Chris Sims, we now have his top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I will compare his top 10 to my top 10 in this moment. Once you get to the top 10, you're not too far off. It's a little bit of picky stuff. That numbers 9, through 20, like we did last week, that's where you can really get a little bit more debate going. But I think I might surprise you with where I agree and where I don't agree with Chris Sims in the top 10. Talk about some NFL key moves. Chris Jones in Denver. Hopkins has a couple visits. Already had one. Got another one planned. And then Dalvin Cook, the shocking news. What are the Vikings doing? How does this affect the Vikings? And where should Dalvin Cook go? Very similar to DeAndre Hopkins. Still feels like he's got a lot in the tank to be a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard back. And so where should he be looking to make moves to? Which teams should be in on the Dalvin Cook sweepstakes? And then, of course, we will wrap up the show with some live talk. They really stole the news in the middle of the week. I was going to do one of these videos earlier, just talk live, but I thought, no, we can get to it on Saturday's show. The thing with the live too is nothing is like imminent, right? It's not like, all these changes and now they're happening tomorrow, so we got to start addressing it. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process, and what we know so far as of right now is kind of, I think Dan Rappaport said it best with foreplay, the war is over between Liv and the PJ. So now as the dust settles, how does all that work? So recap. Tomorrow's show, News Talk 1070 KHMO, 9:05 Central Time. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at Mark Hespman, MarkHespen. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO. We're talking game finals, NBA Finals, Game 4 recap. Can the Heat make this a real series? Can the Heat leave Miami tied 2-2? That's what all the focus is going to be on. If Denver wins it up 3-1, I think Denver takes care of it in 5. Chris Sims, top 10 versus my top 10. And where will Dalvin Cook end up playing football next year? Strong thoughts on that. See you tomorrow on the show.